Without so much as a warning, life hangs in the balance. Human endeavor turns to chaos. And within seconds, nothing will ever be the same.
Everybody go back.
Ever. Coming up, you are about to see some of the most mind-blowing video clips in the world. Experience the destructive force of an earthquake from ground zero in Taipei, Taiwan. And fly with police in a helicopter as they chase a madman in a tank bent on destruction. This is your warning. This is not a test. This is destroyed in seconds. May 17th, 1995. A San Diego police helicopter is on a frantic search for a stolen vehicle.
Be careful, he is coming northbound. He is coming northbound.
The vehicle in question, a 57-ton M60 Patton tank.
And Abel, we're over the head of it. We are rolling videotape.
The tank is fully equipped with a machine gun and a 105mm cannon, and it appears to be bent on destruction.
He's doing these cars on purpose. He's running over fire hydrants. You got hydrants that are blowing water in the air now.
At this point, police have no idea if the tank is armed.
Have somebody get a hold of the armory and find out if this thing is loaded, if he can actually do any damage with it other than killing people by running them over.
The suspect is a military veteran who has stolen the tank from a local armory.
Yeah, he's rolling over just about anything he wants to.
Police desperately tried to figure out a way to stop it.
Do you see any way that we can stop this thing?
Well, no, I don't, to be honest with you. This is the San Diego Police Department. You're in danger. Everybody go back in the house, get out of the street.
Not only is he going after parked cars, he's going after oncoming cars as well. After terrorizing the neighborhood, he heads for the main street and shows little regard for the traffic signal.
This is the San Diego Police Department. Get out of the way, get out of the street, you're in danger. This is the San Diego Police Department. Stay out of the street, you're in danger.
Almost 15 minutes into the rampage, he makes his way to the freeway.
This is bad. Oh my God. He's not trying to take a bridge out. Well, it's a pedestrian bridge south of Balboa. There's nobody on it right now.
Yes, stay away from that bridge if he takes it down. We're getting CHP.
Unable to bring down the bridge, he gives up and moves on. Then, a half-mile later, the suspect tries to jump the freeway divider and head into oncoming traffic.
Oh my God. Abel?
But the potentially deadly act turns out to be the break police have been waiting for.
Abel, he's just high-centered it on the center divide. He's stuck. There's no way he's getting off that.
Be careful if he gets loose there.
Several officers rush the tank. As they try to open the hatch, the driver makes one last effort to get the tank free.
Abel, they're trying to get the hatch open right now. The guy's still inside and he's not out. They can't get the hatch open.
So he is stopped though.
Well, he can't move, but he's trying to real hard.
Moments later, the police get the hatch open, and the driver is killed. In the end, over 40 cars are demolished. Dozens of hydrants are turned into geysers, and several streetlights are toppled. When you consider the size and power of the tank and the extent of the damage that it created, it's remarkable that no innocent bystanders were hurt. Here in the village of Gurdek, Albania, U.S. and Albanian munitions experts are preparing to destroy stockpiles of obsolete ammunition. The methodical destruction of the old ammo is supposed to occur with a series of small, controlled explosions. But something goes wrong. The blast ignites the remaining stockpile of ordnance. The most powerful explosion is audible up to 120 miles away. Glass and shrapnel rain down upon Burdeck and neighboring towns. Windows are blown out more than a mile away. The blasts continue for hours. Over 4,000 people are evacuated from neighboring villages. 400 homes and businesses are destroyed, and another 2,000 are damaged. All told, 16 people are killed, and 243 more are injured. As the explosions subside, the threat continues. The town is now littered with hundreds of unexploded shells. According to the government, the disaster was simply an accident. But the ammunition's deteriorating condition, combined with human error, may have been a contributing factor. 3,000 tons of ammunition are destroyed in this disaster. And there are still 90,000 tons of obsolete munitions that remain stockpiled in Albania. It's race night in Melbourne, Australia, and drag racers from all over come to compete in the nitro-fueled Drag Racing Nationals. In this funny car semi-final heat, veteran drag racer Keith Aegis gets ready to square off against fellow racer Darren Carter. Drag racer Keith Aegis and Darren Carter get set to compete in the semi-final heat at Calder Raceway in Melbourne, Australia. As the starting light flashes, both dragsters accelerate to over 300 miles per hour. Just seconds into the race, Keith's funny car explodes into a ball of flames, and he loses control. Keith frantically tries to release himself from the burning wreckage. Then, just as he gets his restraints off, help arrives. As the flames engulf the car, Keith is unable to see out of the windows, and his dragster drifts into the other lane. Darren Carter doesn't know what's about to hit him. Both carbon fiber bodies explode on impact, and Keith's car continues down the infield, leaving a trail of flames. Keith's fireproof suit saves his life. An uninjured Keith makes his escape, but his smoldering boots tell us just how close he was to being terribly burnt. Later, it's determined that Keith's fuel tank, carrying 90 liters of nitromethane fuel, ruptured and led to the explosion. Thanks to stringent safety regulations, both drivers suffer only minor injuries. Lakehurst Naval Air Station is the site of not one, but two deadly blimp accidents. One of those disasters is virtually unknown and rarely seen. The other is perhaps the most dramatic air disaster in aviation history. In 1937, the German Luftschiff Zeppelin 129 Hindenburg airship glides over the Manhattan skyline as it makes its way to the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. As the Zeppelin gracefully moves into position over the airfield, hundreds of Navy personnel move into position to help tie down the craft.
It's practically standing still now. They've dropped ropes out of the nose of the ship, and has been taken a hold of down on the field by a number of men. The back motors of the ship are just holding it. It bursts into flames. Get it, Charlie, get it, Charlie. It's rising. It's rising terrible. Oh my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames and it's falling on the mooring pads, and all the folks agree that this is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's like 400 or 500 feet into the sky. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the flame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the flares are just speeding
The world's most iconic aviation disaster ever caught on film leaves 36 people dead. Then, 50 years later, at the same Lakehurst Naval Air Station, a new experimental blimp is unveiled, the Piasecki PA-97 Helistat. The U.S. Forest Service claims it's able to carry 26 tons of timber out of remote logging areas. A feat that many believe will revolutionize the logging industry. The flying apparatus is made up of a helium-filled blimp mounted on an aluminum undercarriage. The entire craft is then powered by 4 decommissioned Sikorsky H-34J helicopters. Even as it's wheeled out to the tarmac, some folks are skeptical of the design.
Boy's got guts, I'll tell you that. Why is that? I'll be honest with you, it looks like a hell of a configuration, you know what I mean?
But in spite of the cynicism, the test flight of the $40 million airship continues. Slowly, it makes its way down the runway and begins to take to the air. Then, just moments into the flight, almost immediately after liftoff, unanticipated vibrations rattle the frame. Seconds later, the right rear helicopter breaks off. One by one, the helicopters fall to the ground. The frame of the blimp buckles, and as the helium escapes, it too plummets to the airfield, killing one of the pilots. Rescuers race to the scene and begin to extinguish the flaming wreckage. It's a terrible twist of fate that the site of one of the most horrific aviation accidents in history is the location for another freak disaster. An Hispanic soap opera star stands on the left skid of this helicopter, filming a rescue scene for his soap. According to the script, 3 of the soap's characters are stranded in a broken-down boat. The star is supposed to throw a line down to tow them in. Then, just when it looks like a successful rescue is underway, an Hispanic soap star is shooting a scene in which he's supposed to tow his stranded co-stars to shore. He's thrown a tow line from his helicopter down to the boat, but what happens next was not in the script. Now, the actors in the boat have to rescue the star and the chopper pilot. The 2 men are trapped in the water underneath the sinking helicopter. Members of the film crew rush to assist in the rescue effort. The chopper pilot emerges from the water. Moments later, the soap star surfaces. They hang on to the skids of the helicopter as it takes on water. Soon they are safe on board one of the rescue boats. Both of them have escaped injury. Shooting this scene was supposed to be a fairly simple operation. The chopper's tow line is too short and too weak to pull the weight of the boat. The line snaps. The breakage causes a sudden change in balance for the helicopter. Flying at only 15 to 20 feet above the water, there's not enough room for the pilot to compensate for the sudden shift. The producers of the soap didn't know that the Bell 206 Ranger chopper is made for light observation and shouldn't be used for towing. This incident proves that sometimes the most dramatic moments on television can't be scripted. When construction is complete on the Taipei International Financial Center, it will be 101 stories, one of the tallest buildings in the world. But that's for another day. In March of 2002, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake rocks the capital city of Taiwan. The teeming metropolis is gripped by panic. The force of the quake is so great, it shakes loose 2 huge construction cranes. The cranes plummet 50 stories. ripping concrete, girders, and scaffolding down with it. Hundreds of tons of falling debris bombard the surrounding area. One crane crashes directly onto parked cars. The earthquake lasts a full minute and can be felt as far as 560 miles away. Hundreds of buildings are damaged. More than 200 people are injured. The falling cranes kill 4 people, including the crane operator and 2 construction workers. The force of the quake is equal to that of 8 atomic bombs. Fortunately, the epicenter was 27 miles out to sea. Had the quake been centered any closer, the damage would have been far more devastating. Imperial Sand Dunes, California. Hundreds of off-road enthusiasts are here to play in America's biggest sandbox. It's a wonderland for weekend warriors like Trevor Thomas, who's here to attempt a difficult double jump on his quad. To jump the double, riders launch off the first sand dune and land on the downhill slope of the next one. Come up short, they plow straight into the second dune. Quad riders rarely attempt the double. At 350 pounds, ATVs are roughly twice the weight of a motorcycle. Motorcycles have the clear advantage. Riders can correct their alignment while airborne. Trevor decides he's up to the challenge. Feeling confident after landing the double, he attempts another. Emboldened by 2 successful double jumps and a cheering crowd, Trevor aims for the launch of his 3rd jump. Imperial Dunes, California. Trevor Thomas is attempting a double jump on his quad ATV. After completing 2 successful jumps, he gets ready for his 3rd jump of the day. At the takeoff point, the ATV hits a small rut near the top of the dune. As the suspension rebounds, his trajectory shifts to the left, directly into the spectators. The crowd dives out of the way just in time, but Trevor's ATV smashes straight into another quad, wrecking both. Trevor suffers severe back injuries, including a compression fracture and 4 broken vertebrae. In spite of doctors' warnings, Trevor is back on his rebuilt ATV just 7 weeks later. But this time, he won't be attempting the treacherous double jump. October 3rd, 1999. In the 19-year history of the Salinas Air Show, there hasn't been a single accident. Only the most skilled pilots fly here, and among them is 60-year-old living legend Wayne Handley. Handley has logged 29,500 hours of flight time. He's a world record holder and an International Air Show Hall of Fame inductee. He's world-renowned for his stunning top-speed climbs and cutting-edge aerobatics. Handley can reverse the pitch of his propellers in flight, enabling him to actually slow down while diving. Today, Wayne sits in the cockpit of the Turbo Raven. And he's not just the pilot, he designed this plane. The Turbo Raven is capable of a 10,000 foot per minute rate of climb, making it the fastest climbing propeller-driven aircraft. Considering Handley's accomplishments, a smooth landing is something that he and his fans simply take for granted. Wayne Handley slams into the ground at 100 miles per hour. Handley says the engine stalled during descent. Problems with the propeller control prevented him from pulling out. The Raven is destroyed. Handley breaks his back and several ribs. 1 month later, though, he's back in the air, and due to his extensive injuries and the force of the crash, he's now 3 inches short. No matter how accomplished a pilot may be, he's inevitably at the mercy of his machine. I'm Ron Pitts, and we'll see you next time on Destroyed in Seconds.